What is up YouTube, and welcome back to another CZN gameplay video. I guess not a gameplay video, but kind of like a guide reference video for you guys. And I want to share with you guys, like I mentioned, a reference that you guys can actually use to build your teams out. So currently in the game, you do need to build two teams. Usually the first team that you build in this game is pretty straightforward because it's literally what you just have at the start of account creation and you're forced into it. But the hardest thing actually comes with building that second team. And you need that second team to actually get into Basin of Hyperspace because the stages here, which I actually didn't complete because I got kind of burnt out of playing the game a bit because I've been grinding, but I will be back on that grind after this video's recording. Does require two teams, as you can see. And the first team, my top team, clears it super fast, synergizes very well, but that second team is always lagging behind, and I'm not really too sure if it's because of the team comp or just because of my cards or even my memory fragments. And I'm going to show you guys a reference from the Chinese community. So it's not mine, it's actually from China, which I will be showing you guys. Someone did send it to me on my official Discord, which I advise you guys to join because there's a lot of helpful people there, including myself, who actually is active in the community. But before we go any further, I want to take a quick moment to talk about today's sponsor, LD Shop. If you guys are at any point in this video interested, make sure you guys check out my link down below. LD Shop is the best way to make in-game purchases, and it's honestly really easy to use, and it saves you a ton of money on stuff you were already planning to buy. It's 100% legit and safe. I use it all the time myself, and it works perfectly. If you guys want to know how it actually works, it's very simple. You just have to search the game at the top here, which I'll show you on my screen. And then by doing this, you will see that your game will pop up. And then when you click on the game, you will see the options to have these discount codes on a ton of different stuff in the game. So why spend extra money in game when you can use LD Shop to get these discounts? So for example, if I want to buy this new Captain Support Kit 2, which will give you some summons and crystals, you just click it, you press top up, then you just put in the info that they require. And the best part about LD Shop is they give you this graphic that shows you what's happening with your delivery or your purchase. And when it finishes, it'll just tell you when it's done, and you'll be able to log in and get your rewards right away. And to my surprise, it took literally like 5 minutes, not even. So if you actually log into game once you get the notification that it is finished, you're gonna see if I go into my mail here, that my rewards are here. So an extremely fast and a lot cheaper way to purchase things in game. So why not just use it, right? You're just getting a discount on all the in-app purchases, just makes it a lot easier. And they even give you a lot of coupons on the regular, and you'll also see that they support not only Chaos Zero Nightmare, which we're showcasing today, but a lot of other popular games, so you can use it for just any purchases that you want to do. But yeah, once again, huge shout out to LD Shop for sponsoring today's video. Make sure you guys check it out with my link down below. But you will see what we have here today is going to be this kind of weird looking, hastily put together graphic that will tell you how you can build your team comps. Now, I will say the information here is pretty good for the most part. There are going to be some nuances, which I'll talk about, and some characters you don't want to put together, which I'll also talk about. But essentially, this can actually be used just in this one picture to help you build your teams. Now, there are some inconsistencies, but the way it's set up is the 5-star DPSs, as they say, are on this outer ring. Orlia's also here, which is a healer slash support, so it's kind of awkward that she's here. But you'll see that, most of the 5 stars are actually outside. Then we have the sub DPS or supports. These aren't going to be like the healing supports. It's going to be the ones that can, do damage for you, do some drawing even, but mostly going to be, just a support or a sub DPS, right? Obviously, because it says it. You'll see that Veronica's in here as well, which is going to make it a bit awkward to navigate this graphic. I kind of wish that they just put her on the outside, but Veronica is the one 5-star that's inside here because she is considered a sub DPS, but Orlia's considered a healer. So why isn't she in this last corner, which is designated for healers and, the supports that also help you draw, but mostly will just heal you. So those are the 3 categories, a bit inconsistent, but I'll try to make it as simple as possible. You have the DPSs, the 5 stars on the outside, the sub DPS slash supports in the center here, and in the top right in this green box, you have the healers and supports. Now, the way you want to look at this is the 5 stars, you'll notice, have this solid bar right next to their portrait. And this is going to all correspond with their color. So, for example here, if I look at Haru, you'll see that Haru is this light blue. So that means her color is light blue. And then next to it, you'll see these 3 squares, this orange square, this dark blue square, and this yellow square. And this is going to indicate the 5-star characters she synergizes with. So you'll see that she synergizes with Calipe because Calipe's color is in that small box. You'll see that dark blue is Magna. And then you have that yellow, which is Veronica. Now the 4 stars don't actually have a color themselves. You'll see that if you look at the 4-star characters, they don't have a solid bar. It's just squares. So this graphic is only going to show you guys what synergizes with the 5 stars, not with the 4 stars, which does make it a little bit more simpler, but there are more nuances where you can run like full 4-star teams as well, which I'll talk about. But for the most part, it's going to help you build around your 5-star characters, which I think is perfectly fine because everyone builds around those anyways for the most part, except for a few people, right? So Haru is a good example. You'll also see Calipe, right? We just talked about her synergizing with Haru. If you look at hers, she has that solid orange bar, which is her color, which is why Haru pairs with her, right? You have that box. But Haru also has this light blue square, and that's because she synergizes with Haru. So these two synergize together, so naturally they'll have that, you know, color correspondence, right? So that's how it works. You'll see some characters here, like Mei Lin, the only 5-star they recommend pairing with her is Veronica, which for the most part is true, but you can also, you know, pair other characters that are quote-unquote unmeta together in the 5-star category, but this is what they recommend. And you'll see characters like Hugo and Keiron, they have no squares next to them. And keep in mind, like I said, the 4 stars don't have a color like corresponding to them. So this doesn't mean that they don't synergize with anything. It means that they don't synergize with other 5 stars. And I would say that this is going to be true for like 99% of team comps for these two characters. But you can see all around, this is how it's going to work. And you'll see, you know, Veronica here is going to pair with a lot of the 5-star characters because she's a really good low AP using sub DPS and support. Now, in terms of the healers, you'll see that these have the most usage, especially Mika and Ray here. And the reason why is because a ton of AP generation, Ray buffs 1-cost cards, and she also has healing with her damage. If you guys didn't know, Ray actually has a Transcendence effect, which I'll actually show you, that gives her healing in games. So if we actually look at Ray here, for her Manifest Ego, which is her dupes, on her second dupe, you'll see that she gets a heal whenever she uses an attack card, so you'll pretty much heal every single turn. So that is why they consider her a healer and why she actually is a healer later on. A lot of people don't know that yet, but once you get her to 2 dupes, she's going to be a healer, so that's why she's here. So you can kind of reference this as, you know, something good to build your teams. Not like the Bible, of course, because there are some small things that aren't, you know, said in this graphic because there's no text really. For example, right, a very good DPS that's very popular and is one of the best ones, especially for Basin, is Mei Lin. And you'll see that Mei Lin has that solid red color. And the characters that have that red square next to it, you'll see are like Veronica, Selena, Owen, Mika, and also Ray. And you're probably thinking, oh, you can just, you know, combine these characters all together how you want. Kind of how it works, but what you want to do is ideally you want to pick one from each, you know, area. So 1 main DPS, 1 sub DPS and support, and 1 healer and support. Now there are some nuances, for example, because you can run like Nia and Ray together, but Mei Lin specifically, you don't want to run like Veronica with Selena because they kind of fit the same role, right? So it is pretty confusing. I know you do have to understand the team somewhat. Another example could be like Renoa. Even though Renoa is a very solid DPS and you could pair her with like, you know, Magna and another sub DPS in the center, she really, really likes pairing with Ray and also Nia together. So 2 healers and supports. Even though Luke is here with that purple, that pink square, not really a good candidate for her, honestly, because they don't really synergize well together besides like that bullet generation and anything that buffs bullet damage it's good for. But, you know, there's some specific team comps that characters want. So you want to use this mostly as like a guideline or a reference when building your teams. So if you want to build a team, for example, let's build something like a Magna team. Let's say I have Magna, and it's harder to build around her because she actually has, you know, less DPS than other characters. So you want to like spawn in other DPSs. And then you look at the graphic here, you'll see that she's the solid blue. You could see you could pair her with like a Haru. You could pair her with like a Renoa. You can also pair with Amir. You can also pair with Maribel and the some DPS supports. And there's a lot of other options, but like a good option, not a good option, but one of the good options that you can use, something like this, right? Because if you look at the graphic here, you'll see that Magna's blue, Tressa has that blue square, and Mika has that blue square. Now I will say I haven't seen many people use this specific comp, but this is an example of how you can build your team out. Another good example could be something with like Kayron. So Kayron has that purple bar, right? So he's the purple character. And because he has no 5-star synergies, you are going to want to look into the other boxes for the 4 stars. You'll see that a good candidate here is Tressa once again. Tressa is like one of the best characters in the game. And then you could see for the healers and supports, you have 2 other options in Mika and Ray. So you can run Mika once again, or if you want, you can run Ray if you're using, Mika in your other team. For Basin, the content where you need those 2 teams for. So you can kind of see this is a very good reference to build out your teams. I highly recommend using it. The team builder that I'm using is on Pridewind's website, so you can check it out there. But I just wanted to show you guys this today because it's a very good reference, good resource to use when building out your teams, because even though it's not 100% correct, for the most part, it is very, very good. There are some specific teams that they don't synergize together with certain units that require very specific builds and cards, which is more into advanced deck building, so it's not going to really pertain to most people until the super late game, and by that point you can slot in characters a lot more easily. But I hope this resource helps you guys out. Once again, shout out to the Chinese community for actually making this, and hopefully this will allow you to build your teams a lot easier. Yeah, thank you for watching. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.